Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm the one and only HerbMan. All right, we're coming live from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please go somewhere, get situated so that you can get the word of the day about your health. Okay, this is where we teach people how to heal themselves, and you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you here, you guys, about the human frame and the human design so that you could be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. So this is a free information station. You guys don't have to pay for anything that you hear here today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. And how we do that on the HerbMan Show is by double tapping that screen to get us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. I promise you guys, I'll work for it. I'll earn those likes. That's all we ask for you to do is be interactive and share if you want to share about your health journey. We can help you with those things. Now, all of this education is free, but for consultation purposes, obviously that's going to be paid. Okay. So now, other than that, you guys, what you're learning today and what you've been learning is that there is no panacea product, but there is a panacea program. And the programming that we're trying to teach you is the deprogramming. So there is a program that will deprogram. And what you're meaning by deprogramming is to get you back into the present moment, get you out of default mode, get you back feeling again, not necessarily wanting you to go out and do something wrong because we want you to feel anger, but we just want you to show you how to release it with a opposite minded approach, a polarity minded approach to everything in your life and situations you got going on. So we teach you guys about this polarity. But here's the thing, this is not like this is a great recipe, but it's not a generic thing for each and every one of us. Each and every one of us have our own polarity recipe. Okay, so you must know what those things are. So just because you are a black don't mean you like all black folk, and just because you're a man don't mean you like all men, and just because you're a woman don't mean you like all women, and just because you're a girl don't mean you like all girls. Everybody comes with their own specificity, their own specifics, their own things that make them up to be unique. Okay, and you must acknowledge and you also must outline those things when you're trying to determine health. So what yellow dot may do to somebody else, yellow dot may not do for you. What my little sea moss gel may do for this person, the sea moss may not do that for you. So therefore, if you don't take into consideration my specifics, you miss a lot of information about me, and you also miss the ways to be able to heal. So remember that the true doctor is not a prescriber of products. A true doctor is a listener of the client so that you can understand the lifestyle issues. We don't prescribe lifetime things, we prescribe lifestyle. Okay, lifestyle prescriptions. That's when you get to know your client. That's when you're getting to know the person. That's when you know the person's life. You know a little bit more about the person to know why you may have high blood pressure because you've been around here fussing and fighting. You might know the person, so therefore I could talk to you to relieve you of some stress rather than just order you some medication. Doctors used to be family friends. Okay, doctors used to be family friends. And that's what we got to go back to. All right. So what we try to teach you is your unique specifics. Okay. And with your birthday, it holds the majority of your information. And so what we're doing here is we're simply combining and integrating all of the most ancient knowledge on the planet. Okay. All of the most ancient knowledge on the planet is being integrated. Okay. Okay, so you got all of this right here, plus some more stuff that's being integrated into one system. That's the owner's manual, okay? But what we want to show you guys today, in particular, once we get to 1,000 likes, okay, we there. What we want to show you guys today, though, is what I've been teaching recently here about why the top-down approach is the most wonderful approach to medicine in the modern day. When we're going forward and we're trying to evolve, you must understand this top-down approach. Now, earlier, if you ever really been walking with me for these last few years, I've been teaching you guys that digestion starts in the brain, okay? Now, since I've been teaching you guys, I know I got a lot of old schools on here. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking, you guys. So I know I got a lot of old schools on here. So since the time you've been knowing me, now do we understand where the problem relies at? A lot of people say that the digestive system in the here, they're talking about here is the problem. But if digestion starts from top down, then where is going to be the problem? Anybody know what system? Is it the nervous system, the endocrine system, the immune system? Which issue is the main problem and also is where the solution can be? Anybody know? Is it the nervous system, the endocrine system, the digestive system, the immune system? Since you've been watching me, what you think the problem really is and where it starts at? Nervous system, endocrine system, digestive system, immune system. Where do you guys think? All right. Put it in the chat. You guys come on in the building. Come on in the building. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't got all day with y'all. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? Because I'm going to teach you why this approach is the best approach, okay? Mercedes 72 said the digestive system is where the problem relies at, okay? So we're going to teach you today about why that is not all the way right, okay? Alejandro, what's going on? Where is the problem at? Where's the problem? Nervous system, endocrine system, digestive system, immune system. Which one you guys think? Take a stab at it. We ain't going no further until you guys take a stab at it, all right? We're going to teach you today, okay? L. Precious said the nervous. Manny said the nervous. Okay, so now my students are coming into the building. Now my students are coming into the building, all right? I know my students from other people, okay? So now the students come into the building and they give you the correct answer. The problem system and the solution system is the nervous system, okay? So if that's the case, then this top-down approach is going to be perfect then, right? This top-down approach is going to be perfect, okay? So the nervous system, or when you're talking about digestion, is a top-down approach, okay? So when you first start, right, it's the brain. Okay, then you have the vagus nerve. Okay, then after the vagus nerve, what's next? Anybody know? You got the stomach acid. Okay, after the stomach acid, what you got going on? You got the pancreas, and you got your gallbladder release. Now you got your pancreatic juices, you got your gallbladder release, and then after that, what you got? Small intestinal absorption. Okay, then what else you got? Large intestine. All right, and then last but not least is the elimination. All right, last but not least is the elimination. So that's kind of how everything goes. So when we're teaching you about the nervous system, or when we're teaching you about descension, when we're teaching you about a top-down approach, when we're trying to teach you about a top-down approach to biology, we're also teaching you about a top-down approach to metaphysics as well. A lot of us have been learning from the bottom up. That's why it seems so daunting of a task to rise to the occasion. But what if climbing up is not your thing? What if climbing down is the objective and you're only getting to this middle part, which is this coherency in the middle? Now, at the end of the day, because the nervous system is the problem and also the solution, this is got to be where we get most information, because this is where nothing else works if you don't get this nervous system correct. Let me repeat that one more time. This is live on TikTok, live on YouTube. You guys, please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. You can go out and get all the herbs you want, all the meds you want, all the vitamins and minerals you want, all the foods you want. You can do all the exercising you want. You can do all of those things. nervous system is not in a particular coherent state, which means a parasympathetic state to receive those things, then you're in an uphill battle no matter what. And so what's happening is when you're going to the doctor, when you're going to your doctor, they're not giving you anything for the nervous system. They're giving you things for the problem, but not, and I just told you it won't take. If your body is in a sympathetic nervous system stressor, it won't take. It'll take longer to heal. Your digestive system is not working properly in a stimulated state. You're not sleeping properly in a stimulated state. You may not even be eating properly in a stimulated state. Okay. And so those are really the three main things that you need to heal. So when we're teaching you about the dancing and the singing and the laughing and the going outside in the sunlight and going by the rivers, the lakes and bodies of water and just going outside into some air, into some mountains, into some forests, into some walking, into some, just being out and about, but also with this singing, dancing, laughing, hugging, and being around people that love you and that you love back. All of that does what? Push you over into the parasympathetic. Now, when you take a herb, now when you take medications, now when you take this, that, and the third, now it takes well because you have the system running that will accept it. There's no acceptance too much when you're dealing with things in the sympathetic nervous system. It takes longer and it takes a tiresome. And really what's happening is you're burning energy. You're burning too much energy at a time when you should be conserving energy. You should conserve energy. If you're under impoverished situations and you're in a poverty-stricken situation right now and you're worried about your finances, conserve your energy. And you'll see that if you're slow to respond to the situation, you give yourself time enough to come up with a different solution. If you don't react to the poverty and you slow your response, you'll see that there's another idea that'll come that'll get you through. If you start reacting to the sickness and you slow your response down, you'll see that there's another idea that'll come for how to handle your sickness. If you don't be so reactive to your little social life and you just slow down, conserve your energy, give a little bit room for more ideas to come, those ideas will solve your social problems. Okay, so you see that it's the slowing down of the body. The top down is that we got to show you how to understand this thing. Digestion is not just about food. Okay, digestion is not just about food. Okay, it's not just about drink, but it's also the digestion of thoughts. It's also how you're digesting your feelings. Okay? It's the digestion of the environment. So you're constantly digesting information, which is imputing, input. Okay? Digestion is input. Remember that food is information. So all this stuff ain't nothing but information. So you're constantly absorbing, you're constantly digesting information. This is already, again, if you're overstimulated, we all know that when you're in the sympathetic nervous system state, that your digestive system constricts. That means that you're not as logical or reasonable when you're stressed out. You're not as smart as you think you are when you're overstimulated. You're not as decisive as you need to be when you're overstimulated. You're not as brilliant and intelligent as you think you are when you're scared, fearful, when you're doubtful, when you're panicking, when you're distraught, when you're pain-stricken, when you're all these things. You're not as brilliant as you think. By nature, this is by biology. Okay, so now understanding that this is going to be constricted when I'm stimulated. So now if he just told me that, that means that if I eat when I'm overstimulated, then that's going to give me poor digestion. If I'm always overstimulated and I start eating, then this is going to happen, poor digestion. Okay, then if I'm overstimulated with this right here, this is going to happen. You got poor drinking habits as well. Okay. Then, okay, you already know we understand the thought life. Okay, digesting these bad thoughts is automatically going to start what? Now you got hormonal imbalances, right? Or what I'm gonna say is nerve issues. Okay, and then last but not least is the hormonal imbalances from the feelings. So when I'm stressed, it's constricting. The way that I eat, the way that I drink, is constricting. These are called diets. These are called, when you go on a diet, it's a constrictive, limited form of eating because you're stressed. Okay, so you start to drink only alcohol. You start to eat only what McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. You're constricted. You started to think only certain thoughts. Remember that this becomes a song. All of these are melodies to a particular song. Now, these are melodies to a song called Disease. Okay, if you've never heard the song called Disease, you'll see that the beat, these are the verses, this the chorus, this is the hook. These are all the ingredients to make a melodic song called Disease in your life. Now, you must understand that these are also can start to cause poverty issues in your life. And these can also start to cause social issues in your life as well, because these are breaking down based on the information that you've inputted under the conditions in which you're programmed in. Okay, so if your situation is stressing you the hell out, how many is in a stressful situation? Put some ones in the chat if you can honestly say that I'm in a stressful situation. Okay, put some ones in the chat if you can honestly just say, hey, look, I ain't got to tell nobody what it is, but I am in a stressful situation. It could be your job, it could be your relationship, it could be your family, but just be honest. Put some ones in the chat if you are in a stressful situation in one way or the other without having to tell on nobody. You ain't trying to say it's your mama, your cousin. I ain't trying to tell on my husband. But at the end of the day, he's right. And so what I'm getting you to understand is that if you put a one in the chat today, first of all, we're offering you the owner's manual. Okay, so just DM us and we'll get you in get the information that you need to solve these particular problems. But really, mostly important is it's going to be very hard for you guys to overcome whatever it is in your life. I know everybody that put a one in the chat for stress also has a goal. Everybody who put a one in the chat to say, yes, I'm under some form of stress, they also have a goal in mind. They got a financial goal, they got a relationship goal, they got a health goal in mind, and they don't understand that little thing of just saying yes, that stress, if it doesn't be removed, it could be the obstruction to your particular goals. All right, and that stress can start to be a succubi, and it'll start to vampire and suck the living energy out of you, literally. That's why people say, you make me sick. This job make me sick. This stuff literally can start to fester up the diseases. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So right now, you just acknowledge one melody of a disease, impoverished, or a impartial life experience. That's what we want to call it, an impartial life experience. That's why they say we're seeing through the glass half full, because you're seeing everything impartial. We want you to get this 360-degree perspective of your life. When you get the owner's manual, you got everything you need in the palm of your hand. You no longer have to be dependent on the modern medical facility. You no longer have to be dependent on your doctor, your pastor, your therapist. You no longer have to be dependent on people outside of you to think that they know more than you. You need to know about you more than anybody else on the planet, but you need to know this from the whole understanding and integrated formula or practice, and nobody is doing this. The monks didn't do this. Nobody didn't have an integrated system. A lot of us, again, the great mistake was to divide spirit from matter. So our old gurus, bless their heart, they did things to extend life. They did things to get enlightened. But what they did was they still didn't understand cell regeneration like we do today. They didn't understand the biology of it all. So therefore, the spiritual thing was always what? The top. So from the bottom, that looks like the top. But now we're graduating and we're evolving and we're understanding that, first of all, that programming that I'm from the bottom is not accurate. Remember that you started from the mind of the mother and the father. And then from that creative idea of making love or intercoursing, then created a new thing, right? So that polarity between you and your mama, your mama and your daddy, made a polarity and created you. So you first was created here in the brain. Then you came out of the womb from the womb of the mind to the womb of the spine. Okay. So then you came out of the womb of the spine to go back to the, because you can't go back here. That's why they asked Jesus. So you mean to tell her we can go back inside the womb? No. Resurrection is not back through the body. Okay, resurrection is not back through the body. Resurrection is going back through the mind, because the mind can recreate, the mind can renew, the mind can rejuvenate. The mind is where digestion starts. Let me show you something real quick, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all how this really happens. So when I teach you guys about this top-down approach, you'll understand that you need to learn how to descend. A lot of us are already too egotistical. We're too already high-minded, and that's why we're no earthly good. But one thing you guys must understand, and I want to tell each and every one of you young people this today, is that you must understand this, okay? I really want to say this, okay? When you're looking at this particular thing, spirituality is temporary, okay? Spirituality, being up on top of this mountain, is temporary if you don't have it in practicality. So a lot of you guys are wanting to astral plane and do this, but it's temporary. You get there, you come down. You 3D, 4D, you come down. You smoke a blunt, you come down. You drink a bill, you come down. These are temporary states. You drink some, you go to the shaman. It's there, but it's temporary. So it's okay. Yes, we know we can get there, but we're trying to see how to stay in that particular spiritual consciousness. And what we got to do is bring that particular thing down to the coherency of the body. And when you start to integrate the spirit within the matter, instead of teaching us dogma, instead of teaching us about how to separate the spirit from the matter, teach us how to integrate the spirit into the matter, which is to be more of a practical understanding of how to be a God in flesh. And when you understand how to be God in the flesh, instead of trying to leave the flesh to be God, then you'll see that the way that I'm teaching you is the most perfect and the most unique and the most integrative and the most outstanding system going forward. This is not a moment. This is a movement. So you're going to continue to keep hearing why this is prolific. Okay. And we teach you all about the biology of it all, but we also got to make sure you understand the spirituality of it too. We're trying to get you to marry the two and then walk in the present and then walk in practicality. When spirit gets into matter, when God is in the flesh, when the kingdom of heaven is in you, when the kingdom of God is in you, don't leave it in escapism, but challenge yourself to integrate it and be spirit in matter while on earth. That is what Jesus was trying to show you, God and man. And so this is the message. Not leaving, not trying to escape the reality, but trying to come into this thing. You can change things when you get spirit into matter. You can transform and transmutate things when you get things into matter. He said that you shall do greater works than me. Why? Because you got me as an example. Jesus ain't seen my video. Otherwise, he would have said I was the truth. But we got to see the video of that life, the history, the recording of that walk. So it makes you better because you get to see the gurus and you get to understand, okay, what is the message? Everybody opens up that Bible, think that Jesus is trying to get you to rise. He's not trying to get you to leave the body. He's trying to get you to walk in spirit, in matter, and be God in the flesh. Okay, so this top-down approach, all right? This top-down approach is the very thing that's going to help us. It's going to save us in the future when we're looking at biology from a top-down approach, and then also when we're looking at spirituality from the top-down approach. What happens above determines what happens below. Okay, digestion is not just a stomach process; it is a whole body consciousness process. Okay, and it begins way long before you put some food in your mouth. Okay, every organ over here that we talked about right now depends on the correct signals. Okay, and these correct signals must come from above. All right, so the brain actually initiates digestion. Bottom line, the brain literally initiates digestion. They call it the cephalic phase. Okay, so in the cephalic phase, the brain is the actual starter of all things. Okay, way before the food touches your mouth or your tongue, the brain has already begun this digestion. So we know then, if this approach is in biology, and then they're also teaching us this in cosmology, then this must be the way, the real way. Okay, so the sight of food. So soon as you see some food, that triggers dopamine. Okay, soon as you smell some food, that triggers your serotonin. Okay, the expectation of food starts your digestive juices. Anybody knew that? Okay, anybody knew that? So what I'm trying to do today is I'm gonna prove to you that if this right here is right in everything. Okay, if it's right here, it's right in everything. Okay, biology is going to prove me right. Science is going to prove the spirit. Spirit is going to prove the science. The marriage of the two, healing through spirit and science, is what we do. Relaxation state, okay, that's going to be active. That activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, the stress state, it shuts the digestion system off, which is what we said. So when you're stressed and all of this is under digestion, then all of this gets shut down to a limitation. It's not being processed properly, is what we're saying. So you're not processing your thoughts properly under stress. You're not processing your feelings properly under stress. You're not processing your foods and your eating and drinking habits properly because you're under the stress. Okay, and understanding that what I just told you, that phase is 40% of the digestion. Okay, that phase, the brain phase, and all of that is 40% of the digestive strength in your body. If the mind is stressed, hurried, angered, anxious, or distracted, digestion is weak. Period. Digestion is weak. Okay. Now, the second level is obviously that's when they're getting into your mouth. So your chewing and the enzymes being produced are going to be very important. Okay. So the mouth is the mechanical chemical gateway, because that's when you start to produce everything to start breaking down things. Okay. So chewing breaks down food, saliva adds the amylase, the tongue tests the pH, texture, toxicity, etc., etc. The mouth prepares the stomach to prepare the acid release. Okay. But this vagus nerve is the monitoring system from the brain that's kind of getting all of this done. So don't be skipping over that vagus nerve like it's not important, because it's probably one of the, if not the probably biggest issue in a lot of our situations. Okay. And then last but not least, that stomach acid obviously is going to be producing this hydrochloric acid. It's going to be producing this pepsid acid. Once the food reaches the stomach, all of this stuff started to happen. Okay, that's when this hydrochloric acid starts to sterilize the pathogens. Okay, that's why we tell you guys, ain't nothing really going to survive if they get into the stomach acid. Not too much. Okay, not too much now. This hydrochloric acid also is going to start to unfold the proteins. Okay, is also going to trigger the enzymes, like we said, the pepsin is also going to signal the pancreas and the gallbladder to start the release, start the. Okay, so now you're understanding, if you drop down the pro are having problems right here and thinking that it's something else, but it's just the stuff. If you're dealing with a heartburn, bloating, burping, undigested food in the stool, food sitting in your stomach all heavy, nutrient malabsorption, chronic fatigue, a lot of it could be at this level, and way before you start looking at everything down now. So when you come into a particular person's shop, they got to know this to start seeing where is the problem. Take the top-down approach instead of going straight for what the person is telling you. Okay? Y'all get it now? Y'all get it now, right? So then now you got the gallbladder, you got the pancreas. They're going to do all the releasing of the pancreatic juices. Obviously, the gallbladder and the pancreas, they work together, you guys. And they're very, very important. Okay. So the brain and the stomach tell the liver the food is coming. Prepare the bile. Okay. Then the bile breaks down the fats. Okay. That's what they're for. They're there to break down the fats further, because your amylase does a lot of good for your carbs already from the mouth. Now, obviously, you got to break down things a little further, but amylase starts that's your carbohydrate. Then you got your protease and your lipase for the proteins and the fats. So obviously the bile is going to come in is going to be a lipase type of base because it's going to help break down more of the fats. Okay, so now you got the fats into microscopic droplets. Okay, and then guess what? It's going to start being prepared for the duodenum, going into the absorption phase. All right, so right here again, the bile release and the gallbladder is going to neutralize stomach acid. It's going to eliminate the toxins. It's going to lubricate the intestines, and it's going to control constipation. So if you're being constipated and this controls constipation, then you may be right in here dealing with the pancreas and gallbladder, because these are your emulsifiers, right? So these are the stuff that's actually doing a lot of the breakdown. Okay. All right. So now, if you're dealing with, again, constipation, gallbladder issues, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, dirty blood feeling, pale stools. A lot of y'all talking about you got parasites. That's that dirty blood feeling. When you feel like you got parasites, that's the old school thing that is called dirty blood feeling. Okay. When you feel like you just, it's something going, itching all over the place. It's just, that is, but the liver is the chemist. The gallbladder is the valve. Okay. So here, a lot of those problems could be right here digestively. All right. Now, if you're dealing with indigestion, okay, so digestion, if you're dealing with indigestion, one of the major herbs, man, is milk thistle. And why milk thistle is good for indigestion, I just told you, because the liver is the chemist in this stomach area. And so you got to have something for that. A lot of people don't know nothing about the liver like that, man. Okay. All right, so we talked about the pancreas, the enzymes there. Okay, so these are the pancreatic enzymes are what we call the water codes. Okay, because the pancreas is going to release what? The protease, the lipase, the amylase, the bicarbonate to break down. Okay, it balances the pH. It harmonizes the internal environment. It prevents inflammation. If the pancreas is under stress, you have systematic inflammation rises. So now I got fibromyalgia. I got pain everywhere. I got a sickle cell anemia. Ain't these systematic inflammations? I got autoimmune issues that causes systematic inflammation. Pancreas. I'm trying to teach y'all, man. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking, okay? You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. All right? So you got to know the herbs for the pancreas, okay? All right? Then obviously we going down into the small intestine and the absorption, okay? So this is going into that microbiome type of area right here, right? Where it's producing 90% of your serotonin. This is 80% of where your immune system lies at. This is your short chain fatty acids. This is your immune modulators. This is your vitamins B through K down in here. But the microbiome depends on the stages above for being correct. The microbiome depends on the stages above for them to be correct. But you got folks that's going straight down without understanding this approach, okay? If the top-down signals are chaotic, the microbiome becomes hostile, which is called dysbiosis, okay? So that means that when your life is chaotic on the outside, you can about believe that your life is chaotic on the inside, and that's going to automatically start causing imbalances, poor digestion, pH balance is off, et cetera, because it's going to be indicative of the chaotic life of the individual. Okay, so obstruction would be when you're looking at the O minus the P equals the V. The obstructions are what? Stress, poor chewing, low stomach acid, poor bile. Okay, a lot of people have got low stomach acid because you're changing diets. You're trying to go from your pork diet to a vegan diet, and you don't understand the acids. Okay, so for proteins, you need to have very low stomach acid. Okay, very low stomach acid on the pH scale to break down protein. All right, but fruits and vegetables, your stomach acid doesn't need to be that low to break down because it's different fiber, it's different material that you got to break down. Okay, so when you switch over or back and forth in your diet and you're eating bad food combinations, now you see how it's easy to fluctuate that. Well, that fluctuation is you messing with your fluctuation of your immune system. 80% of, you understand me now, 90% of your serotonin. So you fluctuate a whole lot more than just a diet. So you got to make sure, okay? And again, it could be stress, it could be poor chewing, low acid. This could be coming from poor bile and also dehydration. Okay, a lot of us are suffering from dehydration. That could be an obstruction to your health. Okay, the power, again, remember we said that's the light, but it's also the brain signal, the stomach fire, the bowel strength. Okay, and then your vitality is going to be how well this process go, how well you absorb the oxygenation, the microbiome harmony. All of this is the result of the obstruction minus the power. Okay, so the cosmology and the biology parallel is very, very easy to see about why descension and understanding the learning the descension, not to go from all the way here to all the way to the ground. You don't need to do that, but you need to understand about the heart coherency. So the way you get the heart coherent is by getting the nervous system to relax and calm. Well, what's calming and relaxing is having this particular understanding of life and what you're getting. When you get sickness, that's your opportunity for healing. When you get poverty, that's your opportunity for financial prowess. When you get a social status that you don't like, that's your opportunity to change it into the family or the community in which you belong to. So you got to see it as opportunities. These are opportunity. Okay. Digestion mirrors the path of the light. And the path of the light is a descension. Okay, God came to the earth. You talking about the Lucifer fell to the earth. The angels came down. The gods came down to earth. Every lesson is about descension, and then the Bible starts by telling you about the genealogy of Adam, because we are the descendants. A ascendant is a ancestor. That's your grandmama. That's your great grandmama. That's your mama them. And whoever died around you, immediately you call them ancestors. Those are your ascendants because they came before you. But you're not an ascendant. You're a descendant and you don't know how to descend. Why? Y'all don't understand, okay? So each step, see, so they've been teaching you about going from the root to the crown. I'm trying to teach you about going from the crown to the heart and from the root to the heart and meet up in the middle. So the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root, it goes down. It's a descending. Each step must pass energy downward without distortion. If the solar plexus is weak, then the entire lower gut collapses. If the throat or the vagus nerve or the thyroid, the swallowing enzymes is disrupted, then the signals fail. Okay? So you got to understand where this stuff coming from. Okay? If the third eye, the crown, is stress perception or chaotic, digestion shuts down. Okay? The body and the spirit share the same space to prevent decay. The body and the spirit must share the same space to prevent decay. And I've been teaching you guys this. You can't leave the body, y'all, thinking that you're going to live long. How in the hell you going to live long if you leave your body? You can't do that. So this stuff has been, it's been taught to us wrong. The body and the spirit must share the same space to prevent decay. You got to get your spirit back in the present moment of the reality, and then we'll change the situation. Don't you leave your body when you sleep? No, you're still in your body when you sleep. You talking about consciously? Consciously? I'm going to explain that to you, okay? Because the subconscious is doing everything. The program, you got some involuntary things, and then you got some voluntary things, right? So your involuntaries are already autonomic. That's why they call it the autonomic nervous system, or your involuntary muscles, your involuntary systems. So some things are already programmed in the physical body that didn't got nothing to do with your mama and daddy as far other than having you. It's just how a body works. And then some stuff is a programming. It's voluntary things that you put in it that will cause your sleep to be altered in any kind of way. But the involuntary part of it is just it sleeps. That's it. You ain't going nowhere. The body's in that bed. Okay? But the voluntary, what you program and put in there may feel like you going somewhere, but your ass is sitting right there in that bed. Okay? Digestion, okay? Because really, honestly, sleep is the one time where you're really doing this. Sleep is the one time where your body and the spirit is sharing the same space. But you see, when you do that, you got to be out of your mind because you can't handle it consciously yet. I'm glad you asked that question. Sleep is the very moment where the body and the spirit literally share space for the one moment of the day. But guess what? You got to be unconscious when you're in it. Why is that? Because consciously you can't. You're too programmed, so you'll buzz out of it. You'll come out of the trance state. So if I keep you sleeping, I can keep you dreaming. But if you're awake, can you dream? That's what we're trying to get you to do. Can you do this while you're awake? Okay. So when the mind is in peace, when the mind is in gratitude, when the mind is in calm breathing, when the mind is in the present moment, the body digests deeply. All of this, the body digests deeply. Your feelings, your thoughts, your food, and your drink. Okay. When the mind is in fear, when the mind is in fear, anxiety. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking, you guys. You guys keep talking, keep tapping, I'll keep talking. When your mind is in fear, when it's in stress, when it's in anger and frustrating and shame, and when it's in rush states, right? Because we're under this time thing. When it's in rush states, digestion shuts down. Okay? The alchemical marriage of the body and spirit starts in the digestive tract. The alchemical marriage of the body and the spirit starts in the digestive tract. Okay, so that is going to be the solar plexus, but then we're also going to add in that heart coherence as well. Okay, because we know that if the mind, the breath, and the upper organs are not aligned, the lower organs cannot transform food into life. Okay, digestion is consciousness made biological. Okay. Jakeem said, I don't know you do, but you keep popping up and seriously, Jakeem, I'm trying to get him, bro. I'm trying to. You feel me? I'm trying to use these outways to get my people, man. Like I'm intentional. You understand me? But we're not talking foo-foo. We don't want to dismiss nobody. Everybody is welcome. Okay? No matter we want this to be the official understanding that we are eroding away divisive rhetoric. So I don't care nothing about your belief. This is for you. I don't give a damn about how you was raised. This for you. It doesn't matter about your skin color. This is for you. It don't matter about your pockets. If you poor, it's for you. If you rich, this is for you. If you Asian, it's for you. If you Spanish, it's for you. If you African, it's for you. If you Northern Pacific, it's for you. That means Alaskan. If you in it, I don't care. You cannot get out of the wings of this message. And that's why we're popping up on more people's pages, because we're not pushing a narrative that is unique, that is not unique. We're pushing a narrative that you can only hear here on the HerbMan show. And that's a true teacher. Don't keep teaching me about stuff folk already been teaching about, because I keep telling y'all, if a great researcher, a great student will ask the first question. If they knew, then why did they die? If they knew, they all died. So who got the secret? It's not yet developed yet. We'll still evolving to get it, but nobody is trying. You can't stop at this. You got to keep going, y'all. We don't have it. We don't have the answer. We don't have it yet. And it's okay to say that you don't have it. It's okay to say that you don't know. In order for you to continue to evolve and learn in a place where y'all, we've taken a break here. If the message people are leaving behind is resurrection of a dead, right? So they're saying that somebody was raised from the dead, which is the propaganda for everlasting life. That means that it's a gift of something of some sort, to where if Isis raised Osiris, okay, and put them back together, if Jesus resurrected, then there's a gifting. So that gifting, you got to look at what is resurrection? Well, resurrection is basically a everlasting consciousness. It's when you don't look at anything in a death consciousness any longer. And when you understand that all things live forever in an everlasting format, contributing to the all going and the all seeing and the all forever lasting energy of life, then everybody is connected together, and that means that we're all contributing to the everlasting life cycle. And when you're always contributing to the everlasting life cycle, because my daddy had me, and I'm gonna have me some sons, and my son's gonna have somebody, hopefully, and you continue the everlasting life cycle because you are always a contributor. You never die. And when you start looking like that, that's when resurrection has came from where? From the depth of the mind, the spiritual mind, the depth of the spiritual body and the only reason why the depth of the spiritual mind is there right now is because you're ignorant of it. But once the veil is removed, then this is the part of you that I'm teaching you about, the gift that can resurrect you. Resurrection is of the mind. Remember that the resurrection is of the mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. He didn't say nothing about going towards your kidneys. It didn't say nothing about going towards your kneecaps because your arthritis is messing up. It said if you wanted to be renewed, that we have to understand how to do it from a top-down approach. And so what I just taught you biologically is that, first of all, this is how you should do it as a doctor, as a medicine woman, a man. This is how you should consult your people and your clients and treat them as such from the nervous system standpoint, right? Not from the digestive system, not from the circulatory system, but you want to go in order, and the order is the nervous system. Talk to your people, find out what the stressors are, and then we can find out why the disease is there. And I guarantee you that once we calm the nervous system and then start to introduce the herbs and then start to introduce the right foods, you'll start to see a recovery a whole lot faster, and a whole lot more effective. And we can do all of this for a funky measly $50 with your owner's manual. If you guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you all the information that you need. Anybody got any other questions thus far? Okay. The resurrection is of the mind. Yes, the resurrection is of the mind, CC Ryder. I gave you a follow. Thank you, Zoe Light. What else we got here? Everlasting consciousness. Yes, that's what we're talking about, you guys. You guys are getting it. So how do we tap into everything? So it's not about tapping into everything. It's about tapping into you. Okay, so how do I tap into me is the better question. But I'm going to go ahead and take it as if you asked me that question. And let me pay attention to my YouTubers as well here. If y'all got questions, YouTuber, please go ahead and put them in the chat, okay? So this person asked, how can I tap into everything? And I'm saying that the first thing of everything that you want to tap into is yourself. And what I need for you to do is I'm trying to teach you how to come down and meet you at the heart, right? And so the reason why we're going to do this, and look, I know how to get you down, right? So what we're going to do to walk you down to heart coherence is I'm going to get you to sing a little bit more. I know you might not be in singing mood, but we're going to force this out of you. I'm going to induce singing in you. Even if you're not melodic enough, the melodies from the sound that you put out are vibratory that can change the chemical structure of your body. So I ain't asking you to hum for a Grammy. I'm asking you to hum for your healing, okay? And so we're going to get you to hum and sing. That's what I'm going to do to walk you down into this hardcore, calm down your nervous system. I'm going to get you to laugh a little bit. Yeah, I know you don't want to laugh. Yeah, I know it. I understand, but we're going to induce laughter because I got to get you down into, I got to take you away by taking you in. I got to take you away from it by taking you in. The stressors of life are more external, causing internal environmental damage. So once we take you away from the external stressor, then we have a better chance on reordering the internal environment. That's why retreats are very, very beneficial. Okay, so you want to tap into you by doing this. Then we're going to get you some hug sessions, okay? Some touching and massaging and some hug sessions so you can actually feel intimacy, feel touch, feel love, okay? Not just laughing with people and humming and laughing at yourself because you're humming crazy and all of that, which is going to be fun. But also the hugging is very important because it's going to do what? It's going to get those defenses down. It's going to break through your walls. And so I used to love when I was in prison, going back and forth and preaching and this, that, and the third. You know, you really can't touch guys and get into you got to have some respect for, watch your space, But one thing about it was I always used to be able to kind of get through the space and deprogram the brother in order for us to be able to talk. And a lot of that happens through touch. And some of the other people were scared to touch the brothers. I ain't scared to touch it, brother. In a positive way or a negative way. I ain't scared to touch it. Now you better watch out. All right? Nah, I just play. But anyway, because of that, we were able to break through the defenses, and I was able to engage and talk to the brothers and be able to do what? Calm them down, and then now you gain the brother. Look, this is the art. People talk about preaching all day, but you guys ain't into preaching. You guys are associating and affiliating. The job is to gain a brother or a sister, not gain another Christian. The job is to gain another brother or sister to get community. And that's by any means necessary, which means there's no divisive rhetoric that can keep me from me and you bonding. On where to go, man. And that's what I'm trying to say. So foreign people in foreign countries, you still find a way to connect. Okay? You can still find a way to connect. The language ain't gonna stop us. The religion ain't gonna stop us. The skin color ain't gonna stop us. The money ain't gonna stop us. The government can't stop us from this information. And all we're doing and all I'm doing is using their airwaves to spread the good news. Is that we got to have truth. And you can't blame the gurus because they only knew it in half. But now with this modern understanding of biology, we can come back to this spiritual modality and merge it with and integrate it with what we know today of the body, and then start this understanding back over again. Okay? And then let's start this thing back over. So you don't got to be sitting up under a tree like Buddha starving your life together. You ain't got to be in a thing in the Tibetan mountains starving yourself to death for spiritual enlightenment no more. We now understand that it's an integrative walk. It is not something trying to escape or leave this thing. The challenge is to work it together. The challenge is to marry it in practicality and put it in practicality in your everyday life. Don't get it and then leave. Show us God in the flesh. Walk amongst us, my people. Rise up by understanding that this is a top-down approach, and we're going to teach it the way it was meant to be taught. Anybody else got any questions thus far? Anybody else got any questions thus far? Okay, so then understanding that now you got everything you need to succeed. Okay, everything now that you need to succeed. The only biggest thing was to understand that type of diversity, right? Like, okay, what is it that that I really need to do? Okay, and one of the biggest things that I want you guys to start doing is breathing. Okay, your breathing is everything. Okay, that is a big part of this thing. You guys need to breathing, man. Breathing better. Okay, because remember I told you that you can tell me you all right from your lips, but if your heartbeat is not particularly doing what it needs to be doing, then the internal environment is still chaotic, right? I know you don't be wanting people in your business, so you tell people, I'm fine, I'm all right, I'm fine, I'm all right, but your heart rate variability needs to be increased. Okay, the heart rate variability, okay, HRV, it needs to be increased in order for you to be okay, for real. Okay, it needs to be increased. And how do you increase heart rate variability? By calming down the nervous system, by understanding the breathing. Okay, so cosmology, numerology, biology, psychology, herbs, rhythm, and coherence, without exaggeration, without mystical claims, and without grounded in what we know about the human health, we can tell you that it can work. It can reset you. It is the most integrative approach to your health. Okay, it is most integrative approach to your health, right? When you combine nervous system regulation, which is what the owner's manual is going to do, when you combine that with emotional integration, which is what your owner's manual is going to help you out with as well, when you combine that with coherent breathing, which your owner's manual will show you how to do. When you combine that with herbal support, which your owner's manual gives you. When you combine that with meaningful cosmology, which is what your owner's manual has in it as well, and you combine that with numerological self-understanding, which meaning, okay, which is what your owner's manual gives you as well. When you combine that with life rhythm, which is what your owner's manual gives you, and when you combine that with spiritual grounding, which is what your owner's manual can help you out with, and then also when you combine that with self-awareness and individuation, which is what your owner's manual does for you, then you create a rare and powerful whole system healing environment that no single therapy can achieve alone. The most integrated system on the planet is the owner's manual. What's the reason people want to get it and leave trauma in the heart? What is the reason people want to get it and leave? Get what? Ascension? What's the process at the top? Calming the nervous system. Is that the start? Yes. Calming the nervous system. Yes. That's why we start with the breathing. The breathing is going to help us there. The calming of the nervous system, okay, is the number one thing, okay? Because again, that's going to help out with the heart coherency. That's going to help out with the heartbeat variability, right? So that's what we're trying to do. You got to send signals of calm. They don't come from your lip service. They come from your mind service, your spirit service, okay? All right. So now when someone sees astrology and numerology and their life transitions and their elements and their constitution, which you get all into your owner's manual, they gain the identity and the clarity, which reduces confusion. So that's why we do it from the cosmology aspect, because we want you to understand that something knows you greater than what you think. The Bible doesn't really tell you about you, but it does, but you got to decode it. Well, but from your birthday, nature is going to tell you things about you. How can that be accurate? How can nature know that these are my tendencies? So you get a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, a sense of clarity that you are a part of the greater conglomerate, that you are an important factor if nature know you by name, and by name is your numbers. Okay? And when you get this clear identity, that's going to lower anxiety off the rip. That's going to stabilize your mood. That's going to reduce decision fatigue. That's going to increase emotional regulation. This alone by itself can transform most of our behavior and our health outcomes just by itself. Okay? This came across you have helped heal anyone? I wouldn't even be up here talking, my brother. Ask folks about me. Okay? I wouldn't even be up here talking if I ain't helped nobody heal. The first person I did, though, was myself. Okay, I healed myself for an autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis, and then I began to start healing the world. Okay, so at the end of the day, yes, I have my own herb shop in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, that afforded me the ability to travel, and so now I live in South Africa, and I travel back and forth, go across the world, showing people how to do what I've done for myself. Okay, so that's pretty much me in a nutshell. So yes, I healed myself. Then I had a herb shop bubbling in the city of Atlanta, and then from there I didn't want to be stuck in the building, and I began to start traveling and wanted to be more of an educator than just a herb dealer. I used to be that back in the day. I didn't want to sell no herbs no more. Okay, wanted to educate. That's why I'm a teacher. Okay, so nervous system impact. Okay, so understanding that the owner's manual and the way that it does the framework is going to give you that heart coherence. It's going to help you with the breathing, help you with the rhythm, help you with the emotional release, help you with the grounding. Okay, these directly are going to activate what? The parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, relax, and your heal. Okay, and so all this stuff is going to help, the parasympathetic, which is going to be responsible for healing, responsible for digestion, responsible for relaxing, the immune function, cellular repair. All this stuff happened then, and so we're just showing you how to get over there without dying. Okay, you don't want death to be the ultimate calming of your body. You don't want death to be the ultimate calming of your nervous system. So let's show you how to do it in life. You don't want death to be the end of your stress. Let's show you how to end stress while you live. You don't want death to be the end of your sickness. Let's show you how to heal your sickness while you're living. You don't want to die in poverty. Let's show you how to change poverty. Don't let death be the end of poverty. You can end poverty while you're living. Don't let death be the end of your loneliness. That's the only way you're going to end your loneliness is if you die. No, hell, you can't. You can transmute the energy coming your way into changing it while you're living. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100K, okay? Keep tapping. I'll keep talking. So the truth is that without the parasympathetic dominance, you guys, there is no healing, okay? Only survival. There is no healing, only survival, okay? So the modality that we have, this integrated modality, this is where it excels, okay? This is where it excels. So the biological benefits that you're going to get from this integrated approach are real, and they are very measurable. And so I'm going to show you guys this. We're live on YouTube, live on TikTok. You guys keep tapping. I'll keep talking. So the owner's manual, it will improve inflammation levels, blood pressure, your heart rate variability, sleep quality, health, the hormone balance, the immune regulation. To do all of that because all these systems respond to lower stress, better sleep, better digestion, calm heart, reduce inflammation. So when I get you to do, when I get you to do all these things, obviously the byproduct of it is these things. It's going to happen automatically. Please hold all your calls and texts until after the live, you guys. Okay. So, but this ain't magic. This stuff ain't magic. This is physiology. This is what they call it, physiology. Yeah, that's what they call it. This ain't magic, it's physiology. Okay? It's physiology, all right? Now the herbs that you get, everybody want to know about the herbs. So we have the powerful 13 herbs that we provide. Now most people are only going to get 12 because it's only 12 zodiacs. Okay? But we got 13 herbs that we derive. Understand what I'm teaching you. 13 herbs that we know that are going to give you these things, okay? And so these herbs are going to help what? Soothe stress, support detox organs, replenish the minerals in you, improve your digestion. They're going to help you sleep. They're going to help reduce inflammation. Now, they don't heal everything. They don't replace medicine. But what they create is a healthier internal environment that support the other parts. Okay, so you get this whole integrated system. So we're not just banking on one thing. Okay, it ain't just a one thing. You're not a one trick pony. Okay, you're not a one trick pony. And so when we're using this cosmology with this biology, it's just because we're trying to give you meaning to your life. You can't come in with all this stress thinking that that's what it is. Get over the pain, get back into the pain, get over the hurt, go back into the hurt. That's not necessarily what this is. So cosmology gives everybody, gives every person that we deal with, it gives us meaning. Okay, it gives us meaning, a sense of placement, a sense of timing, a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, a feeling of being a part of a bigger pattern. So that's the reason for cosmology. To give me more of a purpose for why I'm here. Otherwise, why would I want to stay? Why would I want to stay till I'm 100 if I got to work and depend on the government, or I'm going to be stumped over and can't fend for myself? People don't want to live like that, man. And so what we're trying to do is get the healthy humans opportunity to be there, to be healthy, to live as long as you want to. There's some of us that love this thing because we know what this is. It's not what you think it is. It's not the lower self. You don't have to go up. You need to come down, and you need to come down with ease. Because this reduces existential stress, one of the biggest contributors to poor health. People heal faster when they feel they belong to a bigger story. Cosmology gives us that story. Numerology. It's, again, same thing. One gives you meaning, the other gives you identity. So that's why we use the life path number or the model number, right? So with numerology, it reduces internal conflict if you got identity structure. It helps people understand their tendencies. It strengthens their life purpose. It gives a container for identity to work. Now, you can't tell me that this doesn't support psychological integration. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. We're using this shit as tools for health. I don't care nothing about no religious stuff. We using this shit for tools for health. That's it. That's all I'm using for tools for health. Okay? Now, this emotional release impact is very, very good. So now when you get into the crying and the laughing and the dancing aspect of it, you don't really know how big of an impact that is. But who are you getting that program from? You can go to the biggest herbalist on the planet and they're not giving this integrated version. But we can do this for you for a funky measly $50. So in this emotional release impact, when you're crying, laughing, dancing, and singing and carrying on, and deep breathing and rhythmic expression and all this little stuff, that's the fun part of it is what I would call it. These help discharge. So when people say, how can I release? How can I get over something? How can I let it go? Then you got to understand the mechanisms of discharge. Another word for discharge is elimination. So the herb's going to help you detox internally, but then we got some stuff to help you detox emotionally. And then when you get this discharge, then you'll see that you're able to discharge suppressed emotions, which are going to be the obstructions. You get able to discharge the trauma. You're able to discharge the tension stored in the fascia. Okay? Now, when you're able to discharge those things, then it's going to improve what? Your circulation. It's going to improve your immunity. It's going to improve your mental clarity. It's going to improve your sleep, your heart rhythm. This shit's simple, y'all. They're trying to sell us some bull crap. Again, this is not spiritual magic. It is real somatic neuroscience. Okay? Yes, it's a discharge, Priscilla. Crying is a discharge because you can discharge. You don't have to cry for sadness. You can cry out of joy. Okay? You can cry out of joy. There's a lot of people that go to church that ain't got nothing going on in their life, but they crying out of praise, out of thankfulness, out of gratefulness. So tears of joy, of gratefulness is what you want to look for. You don't necessarily got to be crying and be hurt. You can cry and be happy. Okay? Either way, it's a discharge. Okay? All right? And so when you get that, obviously, that's going to do what? That's going to help you all the way around. And then we got this self-integration impact, this individuation part of it, right? And so that's where the shadow work and the emotional honesty, and that's where the inner child healing, and that's where the authentic decision making, and that's where the whole self-awareness comes in there. Okay. And then this individuation reduces what? When you get this individuation, this working in this wholeness, right? When spirit enters matter, when we get this alchemical marriage, which is what we call the individuation, it's going to reduce anxiety, depression, interpersonal conflict, emotional dysregulation. Okay. And it'll increase resilience. It'll increase clarity. Okay. All of the things that you're looking for is in the owner's manual. Yes, sir. And you'll see that the rhythm impact is very important because the human body is rhythmic, not mechanical. Okay. And the owner's manual shows you about your sleep cycles, your food cycles, your emotional cycles, seasonal cycles, cosmological cycles. We teach you this about all of that stuff on the HerbMan show. And say when rhythms align, then guess what? The hormones are stabilized. Digestion improves, energy increases, inflammation decreases, mood balances, stress drops when the rhythm is aligned. Okay? And you own your own algorithms to your body. And this is going to contribute directly to longevity and to vitality. Okay? And then now when you see this whole system impact, it looks like alignment. Spirit and man, God in the flesh. Okay? And when all these components work together, you get a regulated nervous system, which is key. You get a coherent heart field, which is number 2. You get a calmer mind. You get a healthier emotional body. You get better sleep. You get improved hormonal rhythm. You get lower inflammation. You get better digestion, and et cetera, when you get the owner's manual. When you start to heal yourself, these are what you should be looking for. Meaning and purpose, okay? Identity coherence, stronger resilience. This is the real healing, Okay, it's not about immortality, it's not about magic, it's not about supernatural, but it is the most complete holistic support system a human can use. Okay, it is the truth. The owner's manual is an integrated healing modality that creates the optimal internal environment for health, resilience, emotional healing, mental clarity, and long-term well-being, far beyond what any single system can do alone. That's what I can guarantee you. All right. What are the things to be focused if you have 3 years left in Virgo and moving into Libra high tide? Come on, y'all are staying stuck on stuff. That's your stuff. We don't do personal readings here. That's your stuff, okay? You a member, you can hit me up and we'll answer your questions, okay? But again, Virgo is health and fitness. So that's what we told you about. Focus on your health and fitness, right? Virgo is about health and fitness. It's about being disciplined. That's it. There's nothing else to move on to. Okay? And you got them 3 years, focus on your body. And then when you get into Libra, you can focus on things outside of you, more interpersonal relationships, more, trying to come outside of you. But Virgo is about you focusing on you. Okay? So if you got health concerns, use the 3 years wisely. Okay? Use those 3 years wisely. Stay focused on your health. Don't worry about going nowhere else. What about getting tattoos? Who cares about that? Who cares? Who give a damn about a tattoo? All right. Now you don't be going too deep. You be going too personal. Not too deep, just too personal. Too personal in your stuff. What about Libra? I don't know. What about a Libra? Life is a journey. What about a Libra that you want to know about? Okay. So that's what you guys want to know, is that right there, integrated healing modality. You got to understand that, okay? Because the healing really only happens when you guys are feeling safe. Okay, you guys got to feel safe. Healing only happens when you feel safe. Some of us are going to the doctor, we're not feeling safe. Some of us are going to these people, we're not feeling safe. Okay, so we're not chasing immortality. We're just simply trying to teach you about the simple things that improve your health, your resilience, and your longevity. Okay, everyone is in control of their own pace, which is why the owner's manual is your property. Okay, it is yours, and you go at it the way that you need to, right? But you must establish safety, because you can't heal if you're not feeling safe, right? Ariel Dorset says, so true. Yes. So that's all we're trying to teach, man. Nothing more, nothing less. If y'all ain't got no questions, I can get up out of here. Okay. If y'all don't have any questions, we can get up out of here. If you are interested in the owner's manual, please DM us. Somebody will get in contact with you. Okay. All we need is a birthday. The birthday holds the most information about you. We don't need a blood type. We don't need a blood sample. We don't need a stool sample, hair sample, or urine sample. We don't need a live culture from your little nasty bump down there. We don't need none of that. We're non-invasive, non-intrusive. We're not going to prick you, poke you. We're not going to prod you. All we need is the birthday, and we're going to let Mama Nature tell you about her child, okay? And we're going back to the manufacturer, the facturer of man, and that's Earth. That's the universe. The manufacturer, okay? The manufacturer, okay? You must have a safe space for this shift, okay, you guys? You must be in a safe space for this shift to happen in your life. You can't go back to chaos when you're trying to calm your internal environment. If you are dealing with cancer, you can't go back to a fussy home. You can't go back to a fussy mind. You can't go back to a cancerous environment, okay? If you are dealing with things and you already got the indicator, and I told you guys yesterday, cancer, autoimmune, high blood pressure, and diabetes are all signs of chaotic imbalance. So that means there's something in your life, and we gonna get it when you get your owner's manual. Your doctor may not be looking for it. Your pastor, you may not be close enough for them to see you, but I can tell by your birthday what's going on with you. And we need for you to know that mama know the problem, but mama also know the solution. We need for you to know that mama knows a baby, but also mama got to raise you up for you to know yourself better. You got to understand that, yes, there's a covering over us, but we don't know the covering. We don't know the covering. Okay? And so that's why I try to teach you guys about marrying the two minds. The body's mind with the spiritual mind must be married in the center to the heart. Okay? If you don't feel safe, you don't feel if you don't feel safe, you must. So this is how I said. You must have a safe space to shift. Okay? So when we're trying to do this shift, you must have a safe space to do this. Again, with that humming and that singing, you must have a safe space to do that. You can't be somewhere where you scared with what somebody gonna think. You must have a safe space to laugh, because it may not be nothing to laugh about around you, but you got to laugh to get your healing. And you can't worry about your environment when you're worrying about yourself internally. So you got to have a safe space to dance when ain't nobody dancing and ain't no music on. You got to have a safe space to cry or to touch or to hug when folks don't feel like touching nobody. You got to have a safe space for this shift. Okay? You must have a safe space for the shift. All right? Let me ask you guys a question here. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Let's ask a question. When do we feel, let me put this up here. I'm gonna put this question up here, okay? When do you feel the most out of sync with yourself? When do you feel the most out of sync with yourself? When do you feel? Okay? When do you feel the most out of sync with yourself? When you rushed, numb, anxious, etc. When you sick, when I'm in fear, no sleep, there you go. See, so here's the thing. Nothing is really wrong with you, but your system is trying to protect you. Okay? When I'm around energy draining people, when I'm stressed, right? So the thing is that nothing is really wrong with you. It's just that's your biological system trying to protect you. Okay? That's it. That's all that is. But a lot of us can choose to understand when those times are. And so what you got to do is that you got to notice, does anything change in your body? Your breathing, your shoulders, your face, your thoughts. You start to tense up, right? You see? So what we're trying to do is get you to recall a moment of gratitude, okay? Or someone you genuinely care for. That's what we're trying to get you to recall a moment of gratitude, right? And so today, once we get to 100K, we're going to show you how to get gratitude, how to get into heart coherence, okay? Once we get to 100K, we're going to do this today, okay? We're going to do this. It doesn't take no more than 2 to 5 minutes. So if y'all can leave me at least 2 to 5 minutes, we'll do a heart coherent breathing that's going to get you to understand how to recall a moment of gratitude and how, or someone you genuinely care for, and how to feel this heart, how to calm this nervous system down, okay? At work or when staying awake, when trying to go back to sleep. Yes. Okay, top-down approach, okay? Because the thing about it is that when we're in these anxious, depressive moments, overstressed moments, just understanding how to recapture control, how to gain back control before we go fire up the cigarette, how to gain back control before we go before we go buy the six-pack. How to gain control before we go and do something more harmful to ourselves in maybe deconstructive eating habits or thought habits or emotions or behaviors, et cetera, right? So how to gain control in the moment. How can I gain back control? How can I get back present? How can I calm the system down? We'll do that once we get to 100K. If you keep tapping, I'll keep talking. We got about 36 more minutes, okay? 36 more minutes, you guys, but we want to show you this heart coherency. I definitely want to go through that with you today. Okay, so again, we talked to you about why cosmology creates the context, numerology creates the essence, okay? These tools just reduce confusion and self-blame when you used it with compassion. Okay? Cosmology and numerology. Cosmology is going to add the context. Where am I in the bigger pattern? Numerology is going to add the essence, okay? What is my base frequency or my lesson here that I need to learn to do, or this, that, and the third? These tools only reduce confusion and self-blame when used with compassion. So you'll see that we're trying to get rid of the confusion and the self-blame so that you can start to understand that it's a bigger thing that you're under, and consider that when considering your life. Everything is not in your control until you start to realize. Then you start taking control. But when you start coming in here trying to control the conglomerate of life, you will realize that this shit is bigger than what you think it is. So you need a little help. And the help comes from the cosmological side of things. Okay? And when people understand their patterns, they stress less about what's wrong with me. I hear that all the time. When people get their reading, they just say, oh, okay, so that was just me then. Yes, you start to get knowing thyself. There's nothing wrong with you, but you're protecting yourself from you and everybody. Because you are ignorant of the things about you, and you know your wife don't. If you don't know shit about you, you know your wife don't. If you don't know these things about you, you know your friend don't. You know that girl ain't gonna fucking know you like that, nigga. You don't even know yourself like that. You know the goddamn doctor ain't gonna know your ass like that. Because you don't even know yourself like that. So that's why I don't want you telling me your diagnosis. No self-diagnosis and no doctor diagnosis, because they don't know you and you don't know you. So why would I take and consider your diagnosis of self? Let me show you how to self-diagnose yourself. Then you come back with what you need. Let me teach you about how to learn yourself first. Then you tell folk what's wrong with you. Stop telling folk what's wrong with you with that impartial information. Because I'm going to give you impartial herbs. They're going to give you impartial medications. And they're going to give you impartial impartations on your life. You don't want impartiality. You're a whole being. You need holism. But you need to know it first. It's your responsibility. I might be in the office of a service or something, but I'm a maintenance man. I ain't the builder. You build it. I'll fix what broke on an already built up building. I was telling my baby today, I don't build. I don't do construction. I'm the maintenance man. That means it's already got to be there, and I can just repair the little broken stuff. But to help build you, that's your job. Okay? That's your job. Okay? So the body is going to repair its best when the stress is low, when the sleep is good, when the food is supportive, and the herbs are supportive, and the rhythm is consistent. Okay? So sleep is important. All right? Again, you get all of this stuff in your owner's manual. What foods you need to do, the herbs you need to have, the movement you need to do, the nature-based interventions you need to do. All of this stuff is going to help out with all of this. Again, the herbs and all of these foods are just support, not magic. But they are going to help you calm your nervous system, support your liver and digestion, replenish your minerals, improve your sleep, and reduce any kind of inflammation. Yes, they will help out with that. They got you on that. If you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes. Type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure could be dealt with in 21 days or less. I'm going to give you 30 days. If y'all are interested in that, just go to the website, type in detox, and get that 21-day detox. It is a lymphatic detox, okay? It is not a colon cleanser. It is a lymphatic detox. It's going to help eliminate excess mucus. And we use a 4-part pathway. As you can see, the 4-element healing system is what we use. All right. So we're going to make you sweat. So it's got herbs in there that's going to act as a diaphoretic. Herbs in there that's going to act as a diuretic. Herbs in there that's going to act as a laxative. And herbs in there that's going to act as a expectorant. Okay. So that means that we're going to make you sweat it out, cough it up, poop it out, and urinate it out. Okay, and you're going to find that with the 21-day detox, you also going to lose between 15 and 20 pounds, guaranteed. Now, when you're trying to be healthy, don't worry about your weight, because even if you're 100 pounds, that 98 pounds could be sickness. Okay, skinny folks is the most sicker than big folk. So don't worry about weight loss when you're talking about healing. All right. Get yourself together, because you can be 112 pounds and that 12 pounds could be disease. Let's get that out of you. And then you gain your little 12 pounds back, but it's healthy. It ain't disease 12. Okay? So if you're interested in that and you just want to eradicate these little blood pressures and these little metformins and these little losartans and all that little stuff you're just doing and you just been doing it for years, you cannot be on those medications for years any longer, you guys. You cannot be on high blood pressure for the rest of your life. I know they prescribe you lifetime, but you can't be there for a lifetime. You cannot take metformin for a lifetime. I know they told you got to take it for the rest of your life, but you cannot be on it for that. That means you got to make a dire change. And it's simple. Those things could be done in 30 days or less. Go into the website, type in detox, get the 21-day detox, and let's get you started. If you don't start nowhere else, you start there. But for the other ones that are really interested in really getting themselves back together on a spiritual and a more grounded level, then the Owner's Manual is the best option. We also have our membership as well for $3.99. So that's $4, okay? Any other questions? All right, let's go ahead and get to this heart coherence, you guys. Let's go ahead and get this 100 thing on up so that we can get to this heart coherence. What happened to the music? Everything went wrong over here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Top-down approach. What's the website? The link. The link is in the bio, you guys, okay? The link is in the bio. Okay, my link is in the bio. If you're looking for a detox, it's a lymphatic cleanse, a 21-day cleanse, only for a funky $50. Okay, we're not trying to do no price gouging, man. But we do got the best products because we got the best system. Okay, we got the best products because we got the best system. I ain't got the best products because I got the best. I'm in the best environment. Or this, that, and the third. Now I could be in an environment because I got the system. Okay, I could go to any place in the world and still be able to heal myself with their herbs. I don't need American herbs. I can be in Jamaica and then still create this system with Jamaican herbs, Caribbean herbs. I could be in Asia and still create the same synergy with the Asian herbs. I could be in India and still create the same dynamics, same special 13 herbs with their Ayurvedic herbs. Okay, so this is a system. The system don't go nowhere. The system go anywhere you go. Okay, so no matter where you at, once you know the system, you understand how to do this thing. Okay. Yeah, we almost there. Once we get there, man, we're gonna get to the heart coherence, and we're gonna do this thing, man. And this is gonna help out with our fight or flight. This is gonna help out with our rest and repair. Obviously, again, we call it the heart coherence, the breath, right? Emotion, attention, all working together, right? And it helps us calm, helps us get some kind of peace and serenity in the face of the storm. Okay? And that's what we're trying to teach you guys, man, how to do this thing. All right? Spirits top-down approach. That AI just popping up there, pushing it out every time. Man. I appreciate your AI. All right? How many of you guys are needing something like this? Needing to Foxy P said, I like the live. I appreciate you, Foxy P. We come on every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? So right now I'm in South Africa. It is 6:33 p.m., okay? So we're about 7 hours ahead right now, so we had to do some adjustments due to the time change. But we're trying to stay here every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's when the sun is in Gemini in America. I am a Gemini. I just try to use as much backing as I possibly can. And so when I come on the airwaves during the time where the sun is backing communication, I believe that I'm doing my job and doing it efficiently and in the realm of nature. I'm supposed to be talking around this time. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. And I encourage every Gemini to get on the time, right? 10 to 12. Okay, 10 to 12 is your time, Gemini. All right? 10 to 12 is your time. Tauruses are 8 to 10. So it starts from 6 to 8. So 6 to 8 a.m. is the Aries. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is a Taurus. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is a Gemini. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. is a Cancer. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. is the Leo. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the Virgo. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the Libra. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the Scorpio. 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. is the Sagittarius. 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. is the Capricorn. 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. is going to be the Aquarius. 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the Pisces, and then you back at Aries. Okay? And it don't mean that you got to be up at those times or anything like that, but you'll find those times to be very conducive to whatever it is that you do well. Whatever it is that you do, you'll find those times to be very important to you, whatever that is. It is based on what hemisphere you're on. Yes, because obviously the times change in a different hemisphere. Yes, ma'am. Time change in a different hemisphere, right? So you know the southern hemisphere is a little different. So it's basically just the flip. So whatever Cancer is, if you're looking at a Cancer Capricorn, right, or Gemini Sagittarius. So Sagittarius time was 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. So that probably is going to be a Gemini time in the southern hemisphere. Just got to know the opposite. Just got to know the opposite. I set my time to go live at 6 p.m. Nice to know I'm in alignment. Yeah. I mean, I don't know necessarily what part of the country you're in, and I don't know your sign, but yeah. If you stay in your lane when the sun is in there, and especially when the moon and the sun is in there, you got your backing. But the sun is just as powerful. We're almost there, you guys. We got about 3 minutes. We're almost there. It's 6:36. Once we get there, we're gonna do the heart coherence. Okay, we're gonna show you how to take back control of a situation. Okay, we're gonna show you how to take back control of a situation. Very easy to do. You guys can do this while you're laying down on your bed. You can do this while you're standing up. It doesn't matter to me which way you do this particular thing, because I don't want you to be constrained with just having to do it in your home. You can do this at your job. Okay. If you need to go into the bathroom for a minute and into the stall for a minute, you can do this. If you needed to just close your door for a minute in your office, you could do this. If you needed to just take a little quick break, you can do this. If you just needed to go take a little walk real quick somewhere, you can do this. Okay. So this ain't confined to the truck, to the bedroom, to the office. This, you can do this anywhere on the planet. Matter of fact, you're going to do it today. So please go tell somebody to go tell somebody. Let's get the numbers up. Let's keep tapping. I'll keep talking, and let's do a heart coherence. Okay, heart coherence. And then we're going to get up off of here, you guys. All this information is in your owner's manual. If you guys are interested, please DM us and we'll get you that information. All right, put some ones in the chat if you guys are ready for the heart coherency. Put some ones in the chat if you guys are ready for the heart coherency. All right, I need total silence. You guys put some heart ones in the chat if you guys are ready for the heart coherency. Okay? So what we simply want to do to start out, you guys, again, you can be laying on your bed. If you're laying on your bed, obviously I like palms out, okay? That means that your palms should be facing up to the ceiling if you're laying on your bed. If you're standing up, then they need to be facing outwardly like that, or you can do them like this. It doesn't really matter. I like for them to be just out, right? Palms out if you're laying on your bed. All we're simply going to do to start this, you guys, is breathing, okay? We want to do a 5-second inhalation and a 7-second exhalation, okay? Now, if you guys don't know how to do this, that's fine, because I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So you're going to inhale. How you inhale is through the nose, out the mouth, okay? Inhale, exhale is the same thing as spirit and body, spirit and matter. Must be married together, okay? So inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth. That's breathing. But what I want you to do is add the humming to it so that we can ensure that you exhale longer than you inhale. So there'll be an inhalation of 5. Y'all see that? Put some ones in the chat if you got that. Let's stop right there. Put some ones in the chat if you got that. Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth with a hum. And we're going to do 5-second inhalation, 7-second exhalation. I don't want to go too fast. Okay? So we got the breathing. We got the breathing, right? So we got the breathing. Now let's use the hands, okay? So if you're laying on the bed, you're going to just put your hands over your heart, almost like you're singing the national anthem, okay? You're going to put your hand over your heart. I want you to put the other one over the belly, okay? One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and then let's start our breathing. Once you're there, let me know. Everybody got your hand on your heart, hand on your belly, put some ones in the chat. And then I'll wait for you to put your hands back. Okay? If you look like me, put some ones in the chat and we'll wait for you to get back to looking like this. Just want to make sure everybody is doing this. Watch what we do and watch how fast this shit works. And you think a herb work this fast? You think medications work this fast? When you pop a pill, pop an aspirin, pop a Motrin, even when you pop in your morphine, and come on now, watch this. This works faster than anything on the planet. This works faster than the bill. This works faster than the cigarette. This works faster than the blunt. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. So now here we go. You ready? Let's do the breathing. Okay. Let's do the breathing. And we're going to do this for about 2 to 5 minutes. And if you wanted to add some emotion to it, then that's when we start to do that. Okay. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, breathe. You guys keep going, keep holding yourself, You'll start seeing that once you start doing that inhalation, when you make that real deep inhalation, you should start seeing some airiness come to your head. And then when you vibrate, you'll feel that vibration too. You'll start feeling dizziness coming because you're oxygenating the body the appropriate way. You're allowing the pure oxygen in because you're breathing through your nose, letting your filtration system do the processing. That vibratory is starting to create the nitric oxide. So you're starting to see the calming. Okay. Remember that digestion starts from the top down. So what we're doing is telling the whole body to calm down. We're calming our nerves, we're calming our heart. And ultimately, now the stomach acids that were chaotic starts to calm. And now the hormonal imbalance that was all over the place starts to get back into homeostasis. And now all of these stressors and all of that, because now you're not focused on the boss. You're not focused on the spouse. You're not focused on the kids. You're not focused on the bills. You're focused on you. And when's the last time you heard your sound instead of Chris Brown's? When the last time you heard your laughter instead of those coming out of the social media? The scroll of the mind It's just like the scroll of social media. When you get stuck on an image long enough, other images will come up to say that that's what you chose as something you like. And your thoughts are just like that. So you start to calm this system down. And then after a minute there, I want you to start to recall a time and a moment of gratitude that you appreciate, or someone that you love, that you appreciate, that you care for in these moments. And you'll see even my voice. You see, it even changed my voice. I can't even get crunk no more right now because I've told myself to calm down. Okay. Oh yes, I enjoyed that. Never did the hum with breath work except for the om and yoga. Yeah, do the hum. Yeah, don't you even got to do the om. Just do the hum, and you'll see it works instantly. Noetic Nation, I feel dizzy. Yes, that's oxygen going to the brain. That's what the body needed. Okay, because those are the raw materials, right? The oxygen, the water, the food. These are the raw materials for it to carry out the duties that you want it to do. If you're looking to detox, you need for your cells to be able to perform a detox. You need for your cells to be able to perform the biological processes in which you are designed to go through. And so these are raw materials that we're giving the body to do this. And then you just snapped it into parasympathetic. So that parasympathetic said, oh, okay, we resting, we relaxing, we chilling so we can heal. So we can heal, and it's just that easy. Okay? This was amazing. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll continue to keep doing it if you guys want to do it. Every time we get to 100K, we'll do an exercise. Y'all want to hum together? We'll hum together. Y'all want to laugh together? We'll laugh together. Y'all want to dance together? We'll dance together. If y'all want to, whatever we want to do, if we do it together, remember that you get the most gamma from a collection. And eventually, I want y'all to be coming up on here. Come up on the live and hum with me. Right? I don't want to guess if you humming. I want y'all all to come up on the live and let's show people how to get into gamma. Let's create choirs of humming, and let's create communities of laughter, and let's create communities of touch and all this, and let's create these communities so that we can start to produce the medicine within us. The medicine that you produce in you is stronger than any medication on the planet. The medicine that you produce within you is stronger than any vitamin and mineral. The medicine that you produce in you is stronger than any herb. But your medicine all must come from bliss. And we got to teach you how to get there. And we can get that together, okay? We know that it's your own personal journey, but it ain't nothing like a little support, okay? It ain't nothing like a little support, you guys. So I appreciate it. I'm going to let y'all go, man. I love you guys. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Again, this is going to be recorded on YouTube. You guys, if somebody miss it, go on over there to it. We'll be back, same back time, same back channel tomorrow, which is 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in your owner's manual with DM us, I love you guys, man. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody to go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. And until next time, love HerbMan. Woo-say! Yes, sir.